School Board meeting on September 10th, 2025 will come to order. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. You should have had an opportunity to review the agenda. If you have no questions or additions, I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda as it's presented.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the agenda is approved. And Dr. Joyce?
Was that a mic drop? Our most favorite time of the meeting is here, and that is when we rotate showcasing of the schools. And tonight we have a very special presentation. It's Radford High School's turn to present tonight, and we are really blessed to have a director of CTE, and that's not her title. I understand that. She has a new title, and I can never remember it. It's the director of we did give it to you.
Student readiness?
Yes, and workforce development. Yes. Now, what I've done is thrown task after assignment, after request, after idea past Ms. Mosby. She has a new desk, a new office, a new building, and I still give her lots to do. She hasn't really settled in as far as I know. But tonight's no different. I've asked her to put together for us something that we are very, very proud of. We have partnered with multiple folks to make this happen, but most importantly, Ms. Mosby has taken the bull by the horns, and she's going to tell us all about it.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me, and I'd like to introduce Kemper Marion. He's a senior this year and one of our participants in what's called Bridge to Excellence Manufacturing Program, and for tonight we're going to be the B2E, so we can kind of shorten it up a little bit. But thank you, Dr. Joyce, for that, because I have enjoyed this very much. We kind of started this last spring, and with Pulaski and help from other counties that have started this program in a similar fashion, and we just kind of rolled with it, and I think we have really made it our own with this kind of collaboration that we've done with Pulaski County Public Schools. So how it came to be was that we kind of all met and we decided this was something we wanted to do. We wanted to bring manufacturing opportunities to our students. So we needed to start not terribly big, so we have 20 students, and I'll get more into that, Kemper being one of them. And I should also put out that Kemper is also an apprentice at Moog this year, and so he is one of my highlights for seniors, so I'm very proud of him. We all are. But we wanted to bring more awareness to the New Valley and our students, what they can do in the New Valley, and that they can stay in the New Valley and work. But sometimes we don't always know it's in our backyard. And so part of it was trying to just establish those relationships with industries and talk to them. And so we were all kind of meeting a lot as one big group and meeting with those industries and bringing them in. New River Community College is also a partner with this. And thanks to them, we've really been able to be gung-ho with different areas of training as well. So it kind of settled down into basically Ken Arnold and I from Pulaski meeting more individually with the industries and getting recommendations from our teachers, and then doing the interview process with our students to see if there was an interest and how we feel like they would do out in the professional world. And so we went through the process. Pulaski County Public Schools did receive the 2025 K-12 School Innovation Grant. That's also helping pay for this. So that's a huge deal too, so that we are able to really provide a lot of things for our students as we move forward. So we were able to find 9 students at Radford High School. We interviewed them. We went through the process. You probably know it better than I do, but Mr. Simpson, some of the other assistant principals, we all asked students the same questions and wanted to get a feel for what they wanted. And so we do have a variety of students within the 9 that are interested in both in manufacturing, IT, even maybe some human resources. So being able to kind of see a lot of different angles when we go to the industries. So with that, we selected our 9, and so then we kind of narrowed it down to our 9 industries, and talking about and working with them over the last few weeks, talking about what we wanted to see when we arrived. So an immersion tour, so not a field trip. This is a field experience. We want the students to arrive ready to roll, not so much obviously on the floor ready to roll, but seeing firsthand what's happening. And in some cases, they are going to have the students do some small projects. So that's going to be really exciting too. Surprise. And then of course there's the community college course experience. They are going to get SDV 100, 101, kind of manufacturing, soft skills, community college career success skills, resume writing, interviewing, those kinds of things as well during that time that we're at New River. And this is a 10-week, kind of over the course, we have Halloween off, over the fall semester, where they are going to get to experience a lot of different places and do different things. So we're starting this Friday. We're going to start at New River Community College. So that's our opening, that's our kickoff. So we are really excited to hopefully have you all, which I hopefully you got my invite. I'm sorry it was the last minute, but we want you all there as much as possible. We have city manager, our mayor, just a lot of different people within the school division, so and Pulaski as well. So it's going to be a big turnout, we hope. But basically, when we talk to our students, and the purpose of this, you can flip the screen now, Brian, is our goals is to create that hands-on manufacturing experience. Again, they may not be on the floor doing all hands-on stuff, but they're going to be witnessing it, and in some areas or some places they would like the students to actually be able to get in and get their hands dirty a little bit. So gain industry recognized credentials. This is where we're also going to be at New River Community College. Besides the SDV class, they are going to do some snap-on certifications. So getting some of that direct measurements and kind of understanding of those areas. Obviously, direct exposure to in-demand career pathways. We want some of our students to be getting on the bus at the end of the 10 weeks with a possibility of a job. You know, we want someone to say, you know, to Kemper, hey, which, I mean, he's already apprenticeship, but to another student to say, think of us, you know, when you're wrapping up at graduation, make sure, you know, you get, you put an application in. So all these experiences are going to go well with what we now have as a CTE resume template. So hopefully we'll get that out there to our students too, that they can be filling out as they go. And of course, understanding that they can get a good job here in the New River Valley, which is super important. And of course that earned that college point. If you go back one more slide, Brian. One more, yeah. On the right there, that's all of our industry partners. So you can see we're getting a whole gamut of between Pulaski, Radford, even in Floyd. We're going to be exposing our students to lots of opportunities for them to see what's going on. So then the NC3 Snap-on certification training, and the next slide. So this is what we're going to be having them work with one of the teachers at NRCC, and that is also being paid for through the grant. But again, no experience necessary. So a lot of our students that are attending this, you know, they have great experience like Kemper with some of his training he's gotten through Mr. McPeak's class in machining, to what he's getting at Moog, to someone who, like me, would never even know where to start with a dial caliper measurement. So that is like the first thing that Mr. Cruikshank said was like, we need to make sure these students know how to measure. So we're starting from the beginning with them, and they're going to get that over a couple sessions. So that'll be really cool for I think everybody, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, next slide. And then, like I said, grant support, it's helping pay for the NRCC teacher, but gear. I was just at Rural King today, pricing out boots. We're probably going to get a lot of things from Rural King, you know, the vest, some other things, socks even. I mean, you need good socks in order to wear good boots. Some of our students have never worn some of these clothes. We want to make sure they're comfortable. We are working with 11 West with the polos and t-shirts. Again, if we're going to be visiting our local NRV industries, we also want to be purchasing from our local industries, right? So 11 West and Rural King, we want to keep our shopping here in the NRV. And the grant will pay for food, lunches, snacks, and of course the ceremony, but all of our industries have said that they'll provide us lunch. So they want to support our students. They want to get to know our students. They want to have lunch with them. So it's going to be a really big deal to just kind of hang out with them for the day. Okay. And then, so at a glance, this is what we're kind of headed on. So, you know, hopefully everyone will attend on Friday at NRCC. And again, we're kind of just easing into the sessions, introducing the students to STV. They're all going to get notebooks as well. A big part of this is also the participation. So we want them to walk away with some notes in hand, maybe some questions to ask, follow up with maybe an email or two that says this is what I picked up, this is what I still have questions about, and then also really just being part of the program, being that we want them to look professional and act professional. We had just on contracts and everything, so so that everyone's aware like this is the real deal. Like we want to represent our B2E cohort, but also Radford High School for sure, and Radford City Public Schools. And then you can see as it goes on the next couple of weeks, we're going to be hitting Red Sun Farms in the morning before it gets too hot, and then we're going to be going across the street to Patton, back at NRCC multiple times, and then hitting our local areas here with Colt Morgan. So a lot of these will be kind of meeting up with Pulaski at a separate, through separate transportation, but when we go to Floyd, like we're all going together. So we're all gonna be on one bus. When we go to Moog, we're gonna be on one bus. So this is a cohort where they're all also collaborating and meeting new people and working with them. So you can hit the next slide, Brian. And then eventually we are gonna have a closing ceremony. Graduation, maybe kind of call that, we're just not sure yet, but we want to recognize the students' hard work, so that'll be a surprise too. So as soon as we hear some more information, we will pass that on. But, a huge thanks to our transportation because of, we know where it's hard to get right now, right? And so having a bus that takes our students there and drivers and vans, like huge thanks to Mr. Grimm for getting that taken care of, and Gracie and everybody else that's been involved with that. So that's been huge. So pretty much that's going to be it in a nutshell. The next slide, I think, is pretty much what I also sent to the Radford Journal as just a news media piece. But in a nutshell, kind of what we would be working on, what the students are going to be doing right here in Radford and in the vicinity. So
I'm very excited.
Kemper, I'm curious, your decision when you're working with Moog to go ahead and pursue the apprenticeship, was it something they had approached you with or something you had decided to look into on your own?
I was really interested in going into a machine shop at the early age,
Awesome.
like before 18, and only places around here without going 40 minutes away was Moog and Cole Morgan. But recently Cole Morgan shut their apprenticeship program down all,
Sure.
like in total. So after like the third field trip, I think it was, I asked for if they had apprenticeships, and they did. So I emailed them dozens of times. I begged and everything, and they're like, all right, let's give you an interview. So I got an interview, and then they started going with the school, and they started doing more. So yeah.
you did very
Great
well.
job.
That's excellent.
Took him
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
He had wonderful things to say about that. So we're very proud.
Well, I'm impressed because through my own education, I took enough drafting to be curious about manufacturing. And growing up on a farm, we always had to make what we didn't have. So I learned how to use an open-end mill. And it's the only thing you can make that tool with that tool. You can't do anything else. So I'm always encouraged by that. So thank you for having that curiosity and the courage to go forward with it. It's awesome.
Thank y'all so much.
It doesn't say that. So I can't think of a better program that exemplifies student readiness and workforce development. So I appreciate all of your hard work, and the kids are going to be the big winners here, and industry. And I did want to mention these kids, they had an application process, they were interviewed, but it's very important that they keep their grades where they're supposed to be, they attend school regularly, and that their behavior is a non-issue so that they can earn those Fridays. So thanks very much. Cannot wait to see the finished product.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Next, I just want to say quickly that we are going to participate in conjunction with the Radford City Police Department in Walk to School Day. That will be October 8th. That's for breaking news, huh, Mr. Keister? Sorry. I was going to get to that tomorrow. October 8th at Bell Heath and McCarg. The PD is very excited about it. They're going to throw all they can behind it. We're going to have some staff to help. It's not going to be, we'll meet at a place and walk to school, not necessarily from everyone's home, We're going to have some activities lined up to present to the kids about safety prior to, and then it'll be a miniature sort of field trip to school, and then some follow-up reflections. So it's a national thing that we're happy to be part of with the PD. And that's October 8th, Belheath and McCarg, and there'll be details on that coming out. You guys can post that on your social media.
I can remember our doing that before, and we met at the fire station to walk to the park. I know, yeah.
It'll be something similar to that. I think there's a church they're going to meet.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But that'll be exciting. The kids will be excited. So I'll fill you in later, Cole, now that you're involved. Came together very fast. And that is all for the school and student showcase.
Okay.
Thank you.
Looking now at our consent items. And those field trip requests certainly reflect a lot of career possibilities and
Yes, ma'am.
helping students to know what's out there. I was impressed with that. So if you have no questions or additions, I would ask for a motion to approve consent items.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Do we have any comments, do you think? I don't see anybody. I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not. Okay. All right, so I'm going to throw it back to you, Dr. Joyce.
Thanks very much. So we'll begin things tonight under the report of superintendent with Dr. McDaniel. I would like for her to come up and fill you guys in on what it's going to take to adopt textbooks this school year. We are in the process of adopting a math textbook
Do you need one?
right now, and we expect all of the other 3 core curricular areas to come up within this school year. So I thought it would be a good idea if Dr. McDaniel could just walk us through the process so that you guys and the public are aware of how we choose our textbooks.
Okay, so there was a bill that was passed, 2777, I think was the number, but that we have to adopt curriculum in all the content areas pretty much. And last year, VDOE was going through a process of reviewing curriculums for math, just the same way they did with literacy. You might remember hearing about that through the VLA. There were only certain programs we could choose from to adopt for our curriculum. So they had a list of math ones too, and what I shared with you was a spreadsheet that shows the alignment of certain curriculums with our SOLs, because as you know, a lot of these textbook companies are national, so they may align more closely with Common Core than with Virginia SOLs. So you'll notice on there, there's only a couple that really have, green is good, obviously, like everything else we look at. So they gave them a score at the bottom on your printed sheet. You can see it a little bit better, a 1, 2, or 3, and then the percentage that aligned. So we have out here on the table copies of KIDM for elementary and maths. No, that's not right. Can't read what it says. STEM scopes, and then Savas, and what's the other one for high school? Not EDIA. It's Savas and I can't see that far away. Math space for high school and Savas, and then STEM scopes and KIDM for elementary. So we have these for parents to review. And then for our committees, and that's kind of what I wanted to share with you mostly, is kind of how that works for us. We have a committee of staff. So we have a teacher from every grade level that teaches math. And then for our secondary schools, for middle and high school, we pretty much just included everyone because they're relatively small departments. So we want their input on everything, and then we'll have something on our website to let parents know that they can come and review the curriculum if they so choose to. We do have a table sitting out here, and the materials are out there that we have. We have some online access for some of the programs too, because some of them have both an online and a printed curriculum packets that we will look at. For some of our younger students, particularly in math, they don't love the workbooks because it's hard to get everybody in kindergarten to turn page 25 and figure out that takes a long time. So they'd rather have the online access so they can just go ahead and print those materials and have them for them. So I have a list of names for our math textbook committee. If you want to hear those, I'll be glad to share them. If you want to know who they are.
Sure, go ahead.
Everybody, okay. So for kindergartens, Nicole Watson, first grade's Wendy Martin, second grade's Miranda Sutphin, third grade's Ashley Marshall, fourth grade Michelle Hall, fifth grade Ann Rehack, sixth grade Maddie Shepard, and for Dalton, it's Kevin Connor, Tammy Dye, and Stacy Toole. For the high school, Cecil Hickam, James Eagle, Kayla Slavinsky, Scott Larimer, and Clark Ramsey. So pretty much everybody that teaches math in the secondary level, because we really want everybody to be kind of happy with it. I've participated this last school year with a CIP group that has been looking at math textbook adoption. We wanted to find out if we could leverage our large size for a better price. And there is one company that it's not really giving us a reduced price, but they are willing to align their curriculum to the pacing guides that we use, which would be really awesome. And it also happens to align 100%, and that was Kidham for elementary. So that's one we're looking at very, very closely. Teachers actually had access online to that last year in the spring. We'd already started that process. And then math is kind of the focus right now. It's probably one we need more in the elementary grades anyway. The secondary level, they use a lot of the CIP materials and their own things, but the elementary grades particularly, some of our newer teachers need a little bit more support in finding things that are appropriate. They do want more hands-on materials. We bought a lot of manipulatives to replace some things that were gone, missing, broken, whatever, in the spring too. So they had those to start the school year. And we're trying to provide them with everything they need, because we know we need to increase our rigor some in the math and have more constructed answers and have them thinking more about how did they get that answer and where did that come from, and not just necessarily just memorizing math facts and that sort of thing. So we're hoping to find a curriculum that meets all of those criteria. And then we'll do the same with science and social studies. The high school and middle school have access to a program called Discovery that has a lot of materials on it already that we have a contract with for a couple of years. So for that, we'll focus on elementary, but then there's also a few courses we've already ordered some materials for because they were specific, like to the dual enrollment. We had to order new textbooks for some of those programs because we have to use whatever New River says they're using for that course. So any questions about any of that? We're going to be probably adopting a lot of things, and you're going to hear a lot about, but our plan is to follow the same format that we're using for math, having someone from every grade level, and then those departments in the secondary so they have that input, if that sounds good to you.
So we can adopt different programs for different grade levels, or what? How does that work?
We can. We could even do it by school, but I think we found with HMH the consistency is helpful to go from one, just having the same language and that kind of thing,
Yes.
going from one grade level
Right.
to another. Also, as you see, there aren't that many options that really have that complete alignment. And the better the alignment, the better it'll be for our teachers, because they're not going to have to go dig for materials for a certain concept that the material just didn't teach well.
I just noticed that Kidham is like green nearly all the way across. I mean,
And that's kind of the front runner for us now,
yeah,
too.
right, I can see.
They've been pretty good to work with, too. They're pretty responsive.
Yeah.
And that's the one that will potentially align it with our CIP pacing guides, which is what we use, too.
And how funny, HMH is the way to go for reading, but
Not
not
for
for
math.
math.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So when you adopt a program, does that mean that you get all those manipulatives
Well, if
again?
you purchase them all, yes.
Okay, so that's optional.
They have
Okay.
different package options, so you can purchase just the online access. You can, and then they have a bundle where you purchase the printed access, and some of them come with materials like that too.
Okay,
And the online access, so it's just different for different
Okay.
companies. Depends.
Plus, if you run through your consumables, they'll update those the next year, correct? They'll send you a new batch of consumables?
Well, for a price.
All right. Everything has a price.
For a cost.
I think and I appreciate the information and all the research that goes into that. because we've gone through it before. It is really in depth, and a lot of people don't realize, even as parents. But I do like whenever we have at least a front runner who says, we align with you, we will do that, here's the presentation. Is it usually the cheapest? I hate to sound this way, but in my financial world, I'm not concerned about cheapest, I'm concerned about the best value.
You get what you pay for sometimes.
You do, and it's what is it worth to us versus what we had to pay for it. Does that represent a good value? And that's really what my interest is individually. But also a reminder, I believe in the past we'd actually sent the materials to the library for people to review if they wanted to, because of some additional hours, etc. But I'm assuming, I hate to assume anything, but I'm assuming that the materials that are here for review by parents or people in the public, they need to be maintained here, just to be clear, correct?
Yes, I mean, we
Okay.
just wouldn't want them walking off somewhere because.
I want to make sure that message
If they
goes
weren't
out. So everyone-
monitored.
Well,
Yeah.
we want to have access for anybody that wants to
Sure.
see them, so if someone took them out of the building, we wouldn't have
Correct.
them available, so.
I know in the past the questions come up saying, well, if it's in the library, can we check it out and bring it back? And you really can't. You need to review it there, please. Which does take some time, but if there's things you're concerned about, whatever the case may be, then
And if somebody called and said, "Hey, look, I can't get there until this time," well, I'm sure we can work out something to make sure they can get in and look at it. So,
The big acronym, I guess, is HQIM, High Quality Instructional Materials. So that's what you're shooting for.
and I did reach out to someone from the Social Studies Department last year to ask if they were gonna do some sort of similar review, and it doesn't sound like they're going to. Because, for reading and math, BDOE actually reviewed all these different curriculums and kind of gave us a list to choose from. Like I said, it's not like you have to for math, but I think if they put out a list, it's kind of expected that you do.
Yeah.
Whereas we did have to choose. We have to go with one of those approved materials for our literacy programs. But I don't think they're going through that process for science and social studies.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, and for the next little bit, I'd like to welcome to the podium Mr. Daniel Hill. And while Daniel gets settled, I will share with you quickly. You have a copy of this, I do believe,
Yeah.
in your packet. So I'd like to direct your attention to the Division of Performance for Special Ed Programs, which includes, as you can expect, a lot of work, okay? Details, effort, above and beyond. So we earned at Radford City Public Schools for the Department of Education and Specialized Population a 100% for the state performance plan. And I don't know if anyone recalls that happening prior to. So Daniel's not going to take any credit, so he doesn't even know I'm going to say this. But Daniel and his staff have pulled down a 100% on division performance, a 100% on results, and a 100% on compliance. Now, in this day and time, that's really hard to do, okay? He has a moving target and has a lot of hoops to jump through to get to that target. He beats every other statewide average in all other categories. Wow. I mean that to say that the special ed folks exceed all other statewide expectations. So he's just working really hard, and the teachers are working really hard, the families are working really hard, and the students. So we're very proud of that program.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. And we can start there. And it's on the, Brian, if you want to pull up the third thing there, the state performance plan. And yeah, like Dr. Joyce was saying, it's not me. It's really a lot of support from these principals in the back of really putting in really good. It's the state performance plan. It was the third one that he was talking about. Yeah, what I'm going to go.
Sorry, I got you. I went off schedule, Brian.
Yeah.
Couldn't contain myself.
Yeah, we'll talk
I was
about
wondering about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Dr. Jones was saying, we got this letter, I don't know, last week sometime, and it's a report card every year that DOE grades us on in special education. There's 14 areas there, but so yeah, it and really how we got here. In 2017, we hit 78%, which was needs assistance. So that was not that long ago. But one good thing is when you do this stuff and you kind of get in trouble, DOE comes in. They tell you what to do. All right. So we were one of those things. Yep, we had a needs assistance, but we have made a lot of growth since 2017 in special education. And it's been, but like I said, it's these folks, the principals here. We got a lot of good support from Dr. Joyce and Dr. McDaniel with students with disabilities, and we are super proud of this accomplishment. And but yeah, it's we have a lot of caring staff and principals and parents. It takes a lot of folks to hit this mark. But if you scroll down, Brian, a little bit there, you can see. Keep going. Yeah. Yeah. This would be a matrix. So you can kind of see results in the compliance of what makes up this score. You can get 40 total points available. We had a 40 out of 40 on areas. But the one that I really want to talk about, if you scroll down just a little bit here, is graduation rate. So once again, this is not even our data from last year. This is 2 years ago. So even our data this past spring is going to, I think, will even be higher than this. But what I'm most proud about here is the state target was 72.24% of students with disabilities should graduate with a high school diploma. As you can see, we hit that at 83%, which is amazing. I mean, but that starts in preschool. Coming, being on time, and working. But that right there, I believe, is what I'm most proud of, is our students are graduating with advanced diplomas or standard diplomas in their special ed department. So that right there, I think I'm most proud of, because it really, that's our goal, right? We want students to graduate from high school, and we know if they graduate from high school with a diploma, they can go somewhere. They can go to trades, they can go to work, they can go to college. But if they don't get that high school diploma, it's really hard to go on to the next step. So we're super excited about that, and I even think that number from this past year, I don't know, Mr. Simpson may know what that percentage is, but it may be even higher than, I know it's higher than 83%. So super proud of all the folks here working extremely hard. 100%, that's, it wasn't hard to go from 78 to 100%. We knew what we had to do, but it's now being at 100%. It can't really go up. So now it's when the work really happens of staying at 100%. So we'll see how it goes on. But I'm proud of these folks. These principals in this room is really the drive behind this. But yeah, so that's the first thing that I was going to go over. And
Sorry, Daniel.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So we'll go into now, I'm super excited about an opportunity that I have been trying to get going here forever. Even when I was a special ed teacher at Radford High School, I remember I had this conversation in 2009 that Montgomery County, they had this on-campus transition program where they were, they're postgraduate students. So these are students that graduate with an applied studies diploma. These are students that we typically provide services to their 22nd birthday, students with more significant cognitive disabilities. So we're entitled to provide them faith and services, our students to their 22nd birthday. So Montgomery County was ahead of it years ago, and they've had this program for 20 years where students can attend Radford University as part as their postgraduate experience, or Virginia Tech. And students take classes at Radford University. They're paired with a mentor. They have access to therapy programs at Radford University. I've been there. I was there once this week, and I plan to go on Friday to do some more. But last spring, the special ed director of Montgomery County called me and said, "Hey, would you like to join us? We need students. We don't have as many students. All of our students are at Virginia Tech. Would you like to join us at Radford University? Do you have some students?" And like I said, we have been asking. I have been asking for something like this for a long time. So the doors open, and we jumped on it. super excited. Our students will start, and you have in your packet there, you have a MOU that we signed, that if all goes well, if you guys approve, we will start, we have 3 students that will start this program on Monday at Radford University. Super excited about this, and I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great for Radford University. It's going to be great for us. It's going to be great for our families, and just building that relationship that we have with Radford University and partnering with Montgomery County to make this happen. Do you have any questions regarding this program?
Lots of good things happening.
Yeah.
It's very, very
Yeah,
exciting.
we're excited. So yeah, this is really what, I mean, we were ready over the summer, but Radford University had to adjust some of the things on the MOA, so it's a little bit, I wanted to start first day of school, and then I wanted to start last week, but, you know, we gotta wait. We're a guest in this, we're invited, so we had to be patient on getting all these details worked out with this program.
I'll just say, having been on campus and in the College of Education with Montgomery's program, talking to those students is just amazing, and they are so happy and proud of themselves for being on campus.
That's right.
I'm in a real school.
Real school. And that, you know, what we want out of this is eventually, you know, they'll take some classes of interest with their mentor that Montgomery County and Radford University partners with. Will take some classes on interest, anything, you know, students in art class, theater class, whatever, history. It's wide open. They have a list of professors at Radford University that's like, bring them on in. But they're also working on campus. They're learning some great skills, and you know, ideally we want Radford University to hire these students to work there full time, and that's, you know, we want to train our students, and so that way they can go on and have a job in whatever area of Radford University is a huge employer. They're always looking to hire folks. So that's our goal out of this, is eventually that they'll get a job, you know, a good paying job at Radford University. Yeah. So that will start Monday, hopefully. So the last thing we'll talk about here is that we are in the process, and we've been trying to do it for a long time, and just never been able to get it off the ground really, is billing Medicaid. We're super close, and really it's a lot of work with Kate Leeper, who was our special ed liaison. It's really been the drive behind this new partnership. So we've been talking about billing Medicaid for the last year. I mean, we even tried years ago, but it's a pretty big process to start. So we've just been trying to figure out how we're going to start it, who's going to do it. It's a lot of just work on the front end of getting it going. So Kate she's part of a Aspiring Special Ed Leadership Program, and she made a connection with a lady up there that does this, that she works for Piedmont Regional Educational Program that will bill Medicaid for us. You know, I didn't know anything about it, but she brought it to me and said, hey, there's an option here of like how we want to get this thing off the ground, that we can contract with a company that will do this for us. So that's what we've been working on. There's been a lot of work on our end with just getting consent to bill Medicaid. So getting familiar with Medicaid, is these are services that our children are receiving in our schools. Some therapies there that we can get money kicked back to us, which include physical, occupational therapy, and speech therapy, some nursing services, some counseling services, some administrative services that we can bill for. We have to have permission from the parents. It doesn't impact the parents by any means. It's not taking anything away from them, but they have to have Medicaid. We get permission, and then we bill Medicaid, and we generate that money back. So the beauty about contracting with Piedmont is that we're not hiring them. Now they're going to take 15% of what we recruit. which for me is just like, I don't really know what we're going to get, but for me, it's just such a great decision on our part because we're not hiring a person, right? Like they will do it. They'll take some 15% of what we get back, and this money goes right back into the special ed population, right back to our students. So just a way to generate some more money for our students, really, and all the money goes back to our students and our programs. So we are excited. We've signed the agreement. We've already started getting all the consent from all the parents and starting this process. We're excited about this opportunity, and I think it's just going to really, really help us generate some money that's out there that we've not tapped into. So I think it will be a win for everyone. But really, Kate's been the person behind this, and she's been really taking the lead on this. And she would be here tonight, but she's in her last Acela leadership program in Richmond right now. But we're super excited about this as well. You guys have any questions?
That's a lot of great stuff. Wow.
It's the Daniel Hill Show.
It is, seriously.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, it's that time of year when we visit the gifted education world, and I'd like to welcome to the podium Miss Emily Eagle to update us on the annual report for the education of the gifted. Thank you.
Hello, how are you guys?
Hi.
Good. So I'm Emily Eagle, for those of you that don't know me. I am our gifted supervisor, coordinator, teacher, whatever title you want to call me, for our district. So I just want to go over, I think you guys have our annual report from this past school year. So that's why it is titled 2024-2025. That's not a typo, I promise. That is because we are looking back for a year. So at the part one, that just goes over our committee members, and most of them will be done at the end of this school year. So they have the option to continue, or we will look to add new members at different schools. So that'll be a conversation probably starting in the winter time, like, do you guys want to continue for another couple of years or not? So those are our committee members. So whenever we have meetings, these are the people that I invite to go over any concerns, questions, updates. A couple years ago, we did our big plan, like our big gifted plan that goes to the VDOE. So these were the people that I was working side by side with as well. So if we go to the next page, this is all just details of kind of like what our gifted program looks like on a daily basis. You know, at Bell Heath, I do weekly enrichment pull-out services for those grades 3 through 6. Typically working with kids anywhere between 2 or 3 times a week, depending what services they have. In Radford City, we do specific aptitude, and so meaning you can qualify for math, you can qualify for language arts, you can qualify for both. That differs based off of your district. Some will do a general intellectual ability, so you either have to hit the criteria in all to be identified. So this helps us capture some students who maybe are stronger in math or language arts. So depending on if they are in one designated area or not, just kind of depends on how often we're pulling students. I started a second grade enrichment group at McHarg, where I went over there once every other week to work with second grade students, and that's what we would call like our young scholars in enrichment. This is not students who are identified. Some of them may be, but typically not. These are students where teachers have highlighted that they see a lot of potential in. A lot of opportunity for these students. Maybe they're early finishers frequently. They've mastered that content and they need a little bit more challenge. So that's what that group is kind of designated for. We have lunch group offered at Dalton. You can keep scrolling a little bit more. It's all kind of in that part 3. Lunch group offered. We had a Lego League team that competed in Abingdon this past school year. I think I came by last year to talk about that and highlight them. They won a sportsmanship award at our regional tournament. We're hoping to repeat that this year, but also maybe move on to the state level. So we have a team getting put together right now. They're in the building stage of all their mission models, is what they call them. They're very excited about it. We have AP was administered in the month of May, and if you continue down to a little bit down to part 4, just because this is where all the data actually is. Yep, right there. So AP students, we had 63 students enrolled in an AP class last year. Of those, 41 students chose to take an exam, and we had 49 exams. You'll see here in a minute something very exciting. We had an 82% pass rate on our AP exams. That is the highest that in a while. Last year we had, so the 2024 AP exams, we had a 63%. So that's nearly a 20% increase. That being said, we've kind of always been right below the global pass rate, meaning like anybody who is taking an AP exam internationally, nationally, to pass is a 3 or a higher. And we've always been slightly below. These are not an official number yet. This was me going through all of the score pass rates on the AP site and doing my own averages. But I averaged about a 72% was the global rate. So if that number stands and it's even a little bit, we're a solid 10 percentage points higher. So I think that's a big deal to Mr. Simpson and his team over there at the high school.
Do those AP tests include governor school students too, or is that
So some
something
of them-
totally different?
Yeah, so AP is going to be classes that they take at Radford High School.
Okay.
So our governor school students will only take, those courses are dual enrollment.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
most of them they'll go and do their dual enrollment at governor school and then turn around and take 2 or 3 AP classes.
Okay.
So you have the choice. We give the students the option to take the AP test or not. And we've been working really hard to find the funding to help offset the cost. They are expensive. They're $90 a test. And there is reduced rates if you do qualify for those reduced fees. So, and even students, that's one of my spiels that I tell them when I'm like asking, like, hey, here's the deadlines, here's the money, give this to your parents. Even if you don't qualify for that reduced rate, that's still expensive. If you take 2 or 3 classes, that's a lot of money. Come talk to us, talk to a counselor in our counseling department, your teacher, and we will try to find that money to help pay for that, because that's a barrier for some people that we're trying to eliminate. But even with that being said, 82% is great, and that gives them college credit. So depending on what school they go to, and that's school specific, Radford University might accept a 3, Virginia Tech might accept a 3, UVA might need a 4 on that test.
Right.
3 or higher gives you a good chance of getting those college credits, which ultimately saves you money in the long term. So yeah, that was very exciting for that. We also, I know at the high school there was about 145 students enrolled in dual enrollment courses this past year. That is an increase. I think that was the highest number we've had in a couple years since we started the dual enrollment, and I think that is continuing to trend where we're just going to have that increase. As Dr. McDaniel said earlier, we want to bump up that rigor. Well, dual enrollment and AP are going to do that. So this is giving students opportunity to earn college credit while they are still in high school. It helps offset costs. Some students are graduating with associate's degrees, going into the workforce, like Kemper said. So these programs are great for our students that are higher up. So I did, and then let's see. Yep, right here where all the report data is. So referrals for this past school year, we had 30 referrals. Of those 30 referrals, 19 students were granted permission into our gifted program. When we look at that, 9 of those were math only, 5 were language arts, 5 of them qualified for both. So that's where that specific aptitude comes into play. So if we look at our underserved populations, so we had 16 referrals, and so when I break down that data, that's looking at students who may be economically disadvantaged, maybe are African American, Hispanic, Asian, any, what we would typically consider like not your majority of students in that classroom. So 16 referrals, we had 10 given permission, 6 of those were math, 1 language arts, and 3 both. And then we have none under review. We like to close those out by the end of the school year. That way students aren't left and parents, like, do they qualify, do they not? And then if you continue to scroll down, this is just the breakdown of enrollment at our school. So at the end of the school year, we had 1 student identified at McCart. That is not atypical. A lot of the students, even if I do test them, the tests themselves, those are hard for that age group. And so as you can see, the numbers kind of increase. Bell Heath has the most because it's a 4-grade school. And then again, the high school kind of pops back up there. So we kind of trend upwards. Typically what I'll have is 1 or 2 in McCarg, and then by the time they get to 6th grade, we're sitting at 20 or so kids. And so the typical percentage of gifted is you're looking at about the top 5 to 7% of your students. And so when we break that down, your top 5 to 7 math students, your top 5 to 7 language arts students is what we would consider gifted, and that's kind of like the range in what people kind of identify. And so we had 10 students apply for Southwest Virginia Governor School this year. Last year we were able to add, I think that's up, I think got a little bit out of order on my page. Last year we added a 4th seat, so we had sent 7 students last year to Governor School. This year with that additional 4th seat, now we have 8 students, which I'm again, shout out to the transportation department because they've had to up their transportation size vehicle as well to be able to make sure all the kids get there on time and safely. So we've got that. I think they're do great. Southwest Governor School always says if we want to send 30 kids, they'll take them. So, but yeah, do you guys have any questions for me?
I was just wondering, do we cluster those gifted students
Yes.
in classrooms?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's our model at Bell Heath. So we have cluster groupings in 6th grade. So something I should highlight coming forward is we have like our advanced math class. So that looks a little bit different in 6th grade right now. We have 2 cluster groups, if you will, and these are students who were in the top quartile from the state. So we took those students' SOL scores, and those ones are being offered an advanced math class. So you have gifted, and then you have some just really high achieving students in there. And then 3 through 5, yes, we have cluster grouping. So we like to sit probably around 5 to 6 is probably the ideal number. Once you get a little bit higher, you want to split those 2 groups up into smaller subpods. Benefits of that, the teacher has a group of students that are working on the same level. They have peers that they can interact with on a daily basis. They're given that differentiation together. There's a lot of benefits of the cluster grouping. So,
I agree.
yeah. And then, of course, when they get to Dalton and the high school, they're offered honors courses, algebra in 7th grade, AP, dual enrollment. By nature, some of their classes are differentiated for them.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Any questions on last year? No? Well, this year we're excited. Lego League, like I said, is getting started. We've got lots of fun stuff on the horizon that I can't wait to come back next year and share with you guys. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate it.
I think the dual enrollment courses at 145 last year saved families a lot of money, a lot of time, that they were able to get some of those courses out of the way at the high school level and jump into their college careers a little bit quicker, a little further down the continuum. So we've seen both ends of the spectrum where kids that have need support in whatever area of their education, we've seen that tonight. So that's something that we can be very proud of. So the next item on your agenda are the board goals and self-evaluation. So we have been working on our goals since July, our retreat in July, and you have a copy of those in front of you. And Ms. Boyd would like to mention one change that you may not have on your copy, and we'll discuss that.
Oh, and I'll also put under participate in more school board professional development that I added, and it's on your paper, opportunities to share valuable information gained from professional development, because I know different ones of us attend different things, and so it would be good for us to share, bring back what we've learned. And then I just added today under more background information that we will be cognizant of what is best for student learning and how a given action will impact student learning. So that will be, that should be reflected in the Google document now. Okay.
When I make that change, if you guys approve, that will be posted on our social media sites and website. Okay? Any discussion about the edits? Okay? Thank you very much. We'll go forth and achieve those goals starting tonight. Mr. Dye, would you mind posting our enrollment report, please? All right, it's on the screen, also part of your packet. Are there any questions about our enrollment? 1583 is dangerously close to 1600. I would love to get to 1600. That's a great benchmark for this division. We're getting close. We have become the division of choice for a lot of families, so that's something we can be proud of. With that comes some overcrowding issues that I know some of us are experiencing. I don't want to make eye contact with Mr. Freeman. You know, it's still warm enough to do outdoor classrooms. Okay. But we're real proud of that number, and I'm happy to answer questions about our enrollment report to date. Okay, Mr. Dye, would you mind the attendance report, please? So we've got some new graphics I think you'll appreciate. So those days attending is what every student may have attended to this point. If every student came every day, that's the cumulative number of days. Of that, there are only 917 absences for overall percentage of almost 96%. That's very impressive, almost as impressive as the graphic. Here's our August attendance. McCarg at 95.1, Bell Heath 96.6, Dalton just behind them by 0.1. Keep it down. And Radford High School right at 95%. When this comes out, when Ms. Wright sends this, the principals sure do dig in deep and throw a few barbs at each other. And, it's fun to, sometimes I participate, sometimes I just laugh. All right, next up.
Can I just say, I hope that we're also paying attention to tardies.
Yes, ma'am.
In this, I don't know, I'm thinking at the high school, that first block, when they come in tardy, that it's a loss. It's a real loss for them.
Sure it
So,
is.
Yeah,
And it's disruptive to the others.
it is.
So, Mr. Simpson, I think I put you on the spot at every meeting, so why not tonight?
And
I
I
feel left out.
do indirectly, and then, yeah.
That's okay. He's always willing to jump in and help us out.
Yeah, sure, no problem. And I'm glad you mentioned it, actually. We're doing something different with tardies this
Okay.
year. And actually, we're tracking attendance by block because of what you said. And kids you'll get more kids missing first and fourth block than others because they come in late or they check out early. So we attended at one of the conferences we went over the summer. We kind of stole this a little bit from George Wythe County, what they're doing with attendance. But when kids reach certain thresholds, we're going to apply a consequence to them that they can then earn back time through night school. So we're going to put kids on social probation. We have already done that for some, saying, hey, if you've missed more than 8 blocks, because block schedule, that's double the time. You think about that, that's the equivalent of 16 classes. And it's on pace for chronic absenteeism. So we picked 8 blocks missed, and every hour of night school that you attend, you earn back one of those blocks. So it's not insurmountable. You can really earn back a lot of time within a week. But it holds them accountable for attendance, but then also gives them extra support in night school because they're inevitably going to be behind on their assignments if they've missed that much school. So we have a few already on there, and we've contacted families, and kids' night school started this week.
Okay.
Yep. Tardies, we adapted our tardy policy last year, and I updated you in the spring, 4th quarter. That seemed to work pretty well, so we kicked off the year with that same where kids can get penalty haul if they get certain per block. So we're tracking a lot of different things. Ms. Wright's helping us. Assistant principals are doing a lot of work with that, but
Okay.
yep.
All right.
The goal is not to be punitive, but we do have to send the message it's important to be there. And if you're not coming to school, then some of the extracurricular things have to wait until you earn that time back.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank-
You should probably just sit up front from now on.
You can't hide.
No, I know that's the amen row back there. Oh gosh, Mr. Dye, so the threshold tracking was really quick. Those numbers are super low, and that's where we'd like to keep them because that's where we track our home visits, our letters, our meetings, and ultimately the court visits. So we want to keep those numbers really low, and right now they are. So thank you for that. Next up, Mr. Dye, if you don't mind, our student behavior. These numbers should also be very low. This was in your packet, and I'm happy to answer questions. Each school that I visited have all sort of sung the same song, and that is it's been a very smooth opening, relatively quiet to this point. And I think that if that trend's positive, then it's easier to keep it that way than to dig ourselves out of something that may not have been so smooth. So I appreciate the principals. Obviously, it's all their hard work and the AP's hard work to get the kids here, teach them a few things, keep them behaved, and send them home.
I'm sorry, I have another question.
Which
In the-
principal do you want me to call up?
No,
I'm happy to.
But in like, just for example, in the grade 12 column,
Yes, ma'am.
and there are 2 ones, but there's a 1 down in the total. Does that mean it was the same student that, do you see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying. And so I have to get an answer for that. Because
Sorry.
we pull that, that's okay, we pull that from Power School.
Okay,
So all we're getting is data that we really aren't familiar with.
okay,
But I can check with Mr. Simpson or the APs and see why that number is the way it is.
okay. I mean, I'm not sure any of the totals, I mean, I'm not sure any of the columns match the totals.
Let's go back and revisit that.
Yeah, okay,
We can certainly do that.
Okay.
So give us a little extra time.
sure.
Okay, so that's helpful.
Okay,
And
okay.
so that's
That's
likely the
why,
reason.
that was what I was asking. I
That's
didn't,
likely the reason the totals at the very bottom are just incidents, not students. Okay.
okay,
That's what this is reporting.
Even better.
okay.
That's very, that's very
No,
helpful.
I had already looked at it at home. And I already written down a question. What does that mean? I
That's
did my
very-
homework.
That's
Okay.
very nice.
These 2 columns represent that. Total incidents, total offenders.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay,
So on Friday, I asked Mr. Grimm if he wouldn't mind checking into, it was a few days prior. It was probably, well, barely. I said, let's look and see how much it might cost us to add some parking spots to the, are you leaving? Got to
Road less traveled.
right. If you see a fork in the
Need a hole
road,
walked in, not in a
You're
wall on
right.
your guy.
I said, let's look at the parking lot. Let's see if we can add some spaces. When the bus drivers come in the mornings, obviously they can't block the buses, so they park here in the parking lot as they should. But then around 8 o'clock, it gets really cramped. So I asked him, and then he came to me Friday and he said, how about we pave today? And I was just blown away. And I said, okay, prove it. And sure enough, right about lunchtime, there was asphalt. So anyway, I'm just making a little bit of fun about Mr. Grimm and his timeliness.
And exactly 2 hours ago, the paint out there dried.
Right, right.
That's exactly how that worked out.
So
Got all our quotes though.
he's got a lot going on, so I asked him to come up today and talk about that.
that looks good.
But, so the track, do we have pictures of that as well?
We do have pictures of the
Video?
track. Yes, sir. Yes, thank you. So, speaking of getting things done in a hurry, I texted Mr. Calfee earlier today and I said, don't you have a drone? Could we get some pictures of the track? And I had those in just probably an hour or 2 hours time, literally.
Wow, look at that.
And he was in West Virginia when I texted him.
Yeah, so who wants to race? Here we go.
Right. I mean,
That's,
I can just, it's gorgeous.
You can
it
still
is
hear Greg
gorgeous.
Wade cheering if you listen.
Right.
Can't you just see the black and gold?
Yes. We have been working on this track, as you all know, for several years. And these things do take time, but it seemed like when the ball got rolling, it really took a little more time. I know I'm stealing your thunder, but you kind of came in on the,
Yeah, I inherited this one.
right. I want to thank Rick Phillips. I want to thank Greg Wade, who was absolutely vigilant. He wouldn't let, if a butterfly landed on that track, he called me. And so the last part of this package was the lines, and I just thought they did those this week, and I just thought they turned out absolutely gorgeous. So this spring, we are going to groove holes in that track from all the running we're going to do on it. So just really proud of this. There are lots of people who pitched in. I want to thank the track coaches, including Cody Roberts. He was very instrumental in how things were laid out. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to have pole vaulting back. Mr. Grimm's going to be part of the javelin catching team, so we're excited about that. I'm just really excited that our kids are going to have a top-notch track to compete on. And Mr. Wade gets a lot of credit. Our foundations pitched in. Mr. Cox and his folks have been very generous with their contributions, so we appreciate that as well. So these pictures are awesome. They tell the story.
It's beautiful.
big shout out to Mr. Wade, who has an excellent maintenance plan and safety plan for the track to keep it in one piece. He's asking certain groups to stay off it at certain times, but I think it takes that sort of diligence to keep that
Right.
investment in place for as many years as possible. So he has definitely picked that up very quickly.
And before we blame Mr. Wade on people who can and cannot be on the track, that comes from the contractor
Sure.
in Maryland who wants us to stay within our warranty specs. So
One other piece I'll add is the library, an update on that.
Oh, good.
We have contractor in place. We're just waiting for all the materials to come in, and we'll get back in there, and hopefully that'll be knocked out in as early as 3 days. I just don't have a date yet, so we'll get that taken care of very quickly and get that up and running again. So it's been a thorn in our side to have students not in there, so that we want that to be opened back up as quickly as possible at the high school.
we've had some shortage on bus drivers this week. You may have heard the message that we had to send out today and tomorrow, I think, as
We're all
well.
the way through next Tuesday.
Yeah, so I've, told Mr. Grimm, you did so well on the parking, why don't you go find us a couple of bus drivers really quick? But so far, no, it's hard. It's really hard. But he's doing a great job of, he and Grace here are doing a great job of patching things together.
Have you given any thought about remediation for the library, like maybe to prevent that from happening again?
Yeah, we have, and almost took care of that immediately.
Like a drain or something?
Yeah, well, actually, it was more of a grass buildup
Okay.
at the top of that hall, and
Yeah.
we went out there and dug some trenches very quickly just to make sure that didn't happen. It was almost comical how easily that happened. And
Yeah.
just the turnaround on that, the amount of damage that took place was embarrassing. So,
Yeah,
it's like, opened the door and went, oh yeah, this isn't good.
right.
So, yeah, we definitely started digging very quickly to pull the grass back away so we could actually drain out and down the slope that's already there.
Good.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. There are no policy updates, not updates. You'll vote on the final reading in just a moment. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you. Okay, reports of board members. Cole, would you like to go first?
Of course.
I appreciate it.
So first of all, things are going smoothly at the high school still. As Dr. Joyce said, things are quiet, no major problems. Both academics and athletics are still doing very well. Getting into our sports news, our football team is now 1-1 after a tough loss to Giles last Friday. They have their open week this week and then host Galax at home next Friday, September 19th. The golf team just finished their district play and placed second in the district. Hunter Christ is having an amazing season and has gone under par 4 times throughout the season and has even received first team all-district honors, so congratulations to him and good luck as he continues playing. The golf team also has senior day next Wednesday, September 17th at the River Course at 2 p.m. The start to the cross-country season is going very well. There were many PRs last Saturday at their meet in Salem. The team is hoping to do very well this week at their meet on Saturday at Hidden Valley High School. The volleyball team is also doing very well and has a record of 4-1. They have a home game tomorrow against Galax High School and are hoping to make it to state play this year. The Bobcat Band continues to work on their show, and they hope to have it completed by the homecoming football game for spectators to watch. They are looking forward to their competition season, which is going to begin soon in October. Getting into other things going on at the school, like SGA. So the student government just recently had its elections. I'm going to list the members. My apologies if I don't mention anyone. We have Olivia Osimabor as representative, Caroline Gibbs as a representative, Lily Francis will serve as 9th grade vice president, Mickey Barron, representative, Jackson Gilbert, representative. Our treasurer is Sammy Weingardner. Our secretary is Lily O'Hadi. Our vice president is Camille Hidalgo. And our senior class president is Seth Barron. So congrats to all the people who are going to be representing Radford High School and the student government. Today during second block, RHS just had its club fair, which was amazing because students were able to walk around the armory and learn about all the clubs that are offered at RHS. Each group had a table set up to inform students about the club. And so very soon students will be able to choose clubs to attend and take part in during our club days that we're going to have throughout the year. Also, Radford's homecoming is going to be approaching very quickly. It's right around the corner. The homecoming parade will take place on Wednesday, September 24th. And then the Bobcat football team will host the James River Knights 2 days later on Friday, September 26th for their homecoming football game. The homecoming dance will take place the following day, Saturday, September 27th, which students are looking forward to. The SGA is working very diligently on planning homecoming and are going to make it a great event for students to attend. Getting into the block schedule at RHS. So this is a major change for many students this year. We're now a little while into school, so most students have a pretty good idea on how they feel about it. One of the major pros about the block schedule is that you have the reduced number of subjects in a semester. So instead of having 7 classes to attend in one day, you only have to attend 4. This allows for the high school to provide more electives and classes to be offered to students, and they're also able to expand their learning with new electives and get more hands-on learning in different fields that they wouldn't otherwise have. The longer class periods are also very beneficial to some classes, such as our CTE classes and our science classes. Because of the longer class periods, science classes are able to do labs and experiments. CTE classes can still do that hands-on learning of machining, building, whatever they might do. A major disagreement with the change is the increased workload. So even though there are fewer subjects to tackle in a day, students feel like there is more work in their classes that they do have. It is difficult for some students to stay caught up in their classes because of the quantity of information that's taught at once, because instead of 1 day of instructional time, 1 day would equate to about 2. So this would lead to, if you were absent for a day, you're really missing twice as much instructional time, making it even more difficult to catch up for students. As Mr. Simpson mentioned,
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Who wants to go next?
I would say, first off, we had the opportunity as a board to meet with our counterparts of the city and the council. It's the first time I'm really aware that we've ever done that since I've been on the board, certainly. Overall, I think the meeting went well. I think it was a nice beginning, is the way I would put it. Certainly thank you, to the participation of everyone here who was able to attend, and Dr. Joyce, great job keeping that moving forward in a very positive way as well. So I certainly appreciate that. I'm always reminded, today is no different. Dr. Joyce, your leadership, and Dr. McDaniel, and Mr. Hill, and all the principals who are here. It strikes me when I'm out in the community and you hear things that happen. A term that I learned later in life. I saw exemplified at Radford when I was in school here, but I learned what it meant later, was to be a servant leader. I see it every day around the schools. I hear about it in the community. And it is truly a beautiful and remarkable thing. Whenever we have challenges that come up in life, our students look to us. How do we push forward? How do we drive them? Do we take the lesson to heart and show them how to move forward with it? I really feel like we do. Certainly I see it in all of you all, and to everyone here. Thank you to that. And you as well, my friend. Thank you. It's so inspiring, and that's what it's about. That's the message. Push it forward. All the rest of the stuff is just noise. It really is. But as long as we can continue that message of be humble. Mr. Hill, you deserve every accolade you could ever have launched upon you. And every time that I've tried to give you praise, you immediately push it to someone else. Every principal in this room does the very same thing. Everyone in this room does the same thing. Dr. Joyce, I have never learned how to compliment you that you don't give it to someone else. And that's inspiring, because that's what our students see, and that's what our world needs more right now than ever before. So thank you all for that so very much.
Thank you.
All right. Very nice. Anybody else? No?
I was just going to mention that we had talked last meeting about the ACE program and fundraising, and we put out a QR scan code, and since we put that out, we've raised $4,000 already, which is fantastic, and it may be more. I tried to find out earlier and haven't heard back yet, so we actually may have raised a little bit more. So I'm just really excited about that because we just started that endeavor, so I'm really excited. So I just wanted to mention that. So I think every month I'll try to keep everybody posted, so I just wanted to mention that.
I know in our packet we saw about the FFA trip, and Mr. Dobbins, you had kind of taken a personal interest in that. Do you have any update on that?
Well, FFA is huge to everybody. I mean, that's just part of life. That's what we do. But I would encourage anyone to try to go out and get as much money possible. I think they're trying to collect $7,000, I think it is. I've gotten a couple of donations myself. But if you can, reach out to folks you might know. Every dime will help them. They'll go to Indianapolis, which I'm sure you all are aware, but it's a really good event. It'll educate the kids. They'll have a great time. They'll learn a lot of stuff. So I'm really encouraged to see how that turns out.
Thank you. Jane, you have anything for us tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay. I just want to mention again, last time I mentioned the Respect Project, a webinar that I had watched, and I know Dr. McDaniel shared the link in an email that she sent you this week. And I went through it. It's like a 30-minute presentation and have a certificate of completion. And really it's about federal guidance on religious expression in public schools, and that's tricky. I mean, it was tricky for me when I was in teaching. I just stayed away from it. But I'm not sure we all understand the legalities of it, and I felt like it gave me a much better understanding of what the restrictions are, what we need to be allowing in our classrooms, and not teacher-led, but when it is student-initiated. I found it very informative, and it's kind of a good segue into Constitution Day, which is coming up September 17th, because that's, part of the First Amendment, that freedom of religion and all of its aspects. So I just wanted to say that I hope you'll consider looking at it, and I think you'll learn a lot. Okay. So now we're ready for action items, and the first one is that MOA, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
With Radford University for on-campus transition partnership between Montgomery County Public Schools, Radford City Public Schools, and Radford University, as was presented by Mr. Hill. So I would entertain a motion to approve that.
Madam Chair, I make the motion that we approve the MOA between these three entities to the benefit of our students.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that one carries. Then Ms. Eagle presented her annual report for the education of the gifted. So I need a motion to approve that report.
So moved.
And a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Our board goals that we looked at tonight.
As amended?
As amended, yes. As I pointed out, the amendment to that one amendment that needs to be added. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, equipment or items to be surplused. Do we need to know something about that?
Do you have in your packet those items to be surplus? I
I
have
don't
them here.
remember seeing it.
So one of them is our, there's only three. One of them is an older Ford Explorer that has served us well, but needs to serve someone else now. We couldn't send it on long trips and things like that, so has brand new tires on it.
Oh, wow.
So we need to surplus the white Ford Explorer that you may or may not have seen in the bus lot. Also, I think this is near and dear to Darden. The risograph, is that yours? Sorry. We're going to surplus the risograph copier and also a Savin copier. Those two items have outlived their usefulness.
Okay. So, is there a motion to approve these surplus items?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Discussion? Anybody want that Ford Explorer? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the policy revisions.
Those are the
And-
policies that you were introduced to last month. This is the final reading, if there are no questions or comments.
Right, yes. Anybody have any questions or comments before we? Okay. Is there a motion to approve those policy revisions?
So,
And a second?
second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Ms. Swing, will you read us into our closed meeting?
Madam Chair, I move that the board convene into closed session pursuant to section 2.23711A, number 1, to discuss the appointment, resignation, and retirement of employees of the school board, as well as number 2, admission of students.
All right, is there a second? This motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we are in closed session now. All right, I need a motion to convene in open session. And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and Ms. Swing, if you will certify us, please.
Madam Chair, I certify that during our closed session, only business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law, and only such public business matters as were identified in motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in said meeting by this public body.
All right, there is a motion to certify. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Personnel Matters 1.0 as amended in closed session. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we did not have student matters. We had one tuition student. Is there a motion to approve that tuition student?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that takes us to the end of our meeting this evening. The date for the next regular board meeting, please note, is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025 at 6 o'clock here at the school administration building. This meeting is adjourned. Have a good evening.